have a little crush on him.
It turned out to be so false and fake.
Good job, Mr. President. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty good at spinning it.
The trial is scheduled to begin Monday with jury selection.
This judge, what he did and what his ruling was is a disgrace. Everybody saw what happened today. He's a corrupt judge and he's totally conflicted.
A stormy day for Donald Trump. Judge cracks down on the former president. I understand that your client is upset at this point, but he is cursing audibly and he is shaking his head visually, and that's contemptuous. It has the potential to intimidate the witness, and the jury can see that. You need to speak to him. I won't tolerate that. These were the warnings by Judge Merchant towards an uneasy and shaken Donald Trump. This Tuesday at 10:30 p.m., the tension in the New York courtroom hit a new high as Stormy Daniels, the beloved porn star, walked in dressed as modest as a nun. Years in the making, the 12th hearing of the Trump's hush money case lived up to be the television drama it had promised to be. It was a mix of sex, tabloids, and payoffs that resulted in an electric scene of outbursts and tears. Ready? My name is Stormy Daniels. Last name Daniels, the defendant answered when asked to state her name. She was then asked to identify the defendant as per standard court proceedings. The eyeglass-wearing adult film star looked pointed at the golden eye-wearing former president. She proceeded to testify with the confidence and speed of a bullet train. The entire room was filled with a frenetic tempo of the court stenograph machine. But it seemed that even the veteran stenographer was taken aback by the storm of charisma unleashed by Ms. Daniels. She was ordered to slow down 6 times during her testimony just so that the stenographer could match her pace. Ms. Daniels started from the very beginning of her illustrious porn career, remembering her days as Ms. Nude North America. This led to a shift in her career from an aspiring veterinary student to an exotic dancer. A smirk appeared on the lips of one of the jurors while she went on about her career. Fast forward to 2006, she recounted the fateful night at the hotel suite of Lake Tahoe. But what came after that was something that shocked everyone. The situation was best described by Judge 1M Merchant when he stated that some of the details of the case should probably have been left unsaid. Before going to what was said in the testimony, here's a reminder to hit the like and subscribe button and help out the channel. Now, let's get back to the topic at hand. Spanking, silk pajamas, and Ivanka. As described by Stormy herself, when she entered the massive suit, she found that Trump was there in a pair of his silk pajamas reading a magazine. Someone should spank you with that, said Stormy. Then she took the magazine from his hand and spanked him in his silk-clad buttocks. You remind me of my daughter, because she is smart and blonde and beautiful, and people underestimate her as well, said Trump, comparing her to his own daughter Ivanka. Before taking things any further, Stormy Daniels assured him that he never had any STDs, and in return Trump informed Stormy that his wife Melania didn't even sleep on the same bed anymore. She then went on to use the washroom. According to her, the suit was so luxurious that she couldn't help rummaging through the toiletries and stole a pair of golden tweezers, embarrassed prosecution, and a fuming Trump. In her visceral description, she even physically acted out the way he was lying on the bed waiting for her as she emerged from the bathroom after her conquest with the golden tweezers. Her description was so over the top that the prosecutors, who are taking the fight against Trump's lawyers, had to ask for the consent of Trump's lawyers to meet Daniels in a side room. Make sure the witness stays focused on the question, gives the answer, and does not give any unnecessary narrative. They instructed her as per Judge Merchant's statement. This was an highly unusual event, however things just got weirder from that point on. While Stormy was giving her testimony, the former president of the United States was shaking his head vigorously and started cursing aloud. Thankfully, Judge Merchant acted promptly and warned Trump's lawyers to stop him from cursing aloud and intimidating the witness. Now, we know that in one point or another you have wondered whether there is a motive behind this case. After all, it took place in 2006 and somehow always seems to poke its head out right before the elections. Well, you will be glad to know that you are not the only one. Defense lawyer Susan Netchels was the first one to jump at that question. She started cross-examining Ms. Daniels about the credibility of her accusation and the hidden motives behind it. This just escalated the situation even more. If anyone thought Stormy was talkative direct before, they were in for a surprise now, as she got even more feistier at the defense's questions. Netchels even suggested that Daniels was trying to extort more money from the former president after receiving a hush money of $160,000. Obviously, Stormy denied these assumptions as strongly as possible, stating them as false. The long hearing ended at 4:30 p.m. as Daniels left the stand. She walked away the same way she walked in, looking away from him. He returned that favor with similar grace, looking away from her. That night his bodyguards stood outside of their room. This time they stood as close to him as possible. Outside of the courtroom, Trump stated, "This was a very revealing day in court." Any honest reporter would say that inside the courtroom, the jury sat gathering all of their thoughts and tried to make sense of what happened. So viewers, what sense do you make of the case? Should Donald Trump be held accountable? Will this impact his 2024 presidential? And most importantly, will you be voting for him? Let us know in the comments, and for more updates on the case, hit the like and subscribe button.